Oh. Hello. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today I'm going to be talking about Love is Blind. Many of you wanted me to talk about this. Here you go. But before we get into this, check out my website, La Vida Rosa Style, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. These little elephant earrings. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So y'all, this was probably one of my most requested videos. I wasn't gonna make this video originally. I wasn't gonna watch this show originally, but y'all, like, I've already reviewed Married at First Sight. In case you don't know, maybe you might be new here, but I love that show and I love to review that show. And so many people wanted me to review Love is Blind because it's, you know, similar pretense. And I also gave y'all a poll and asked, did y'all want me to review it still? And the overwhelming majority said yes. So y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was not into this show. So when I first heard about it, they told me it was like, ooh, this is another like type of game show on Netflix. And I was like, ooh, I love The Circle, so let me go check this out. The relationship between Cameron and Lauren was very interesting to me, but everything else was so boring. It was moving so slow. It was like such a slow drag. I did not care. I did not care. So I pretty much watched just for the whole drama that unfolded in the first 4 episodes with Carlton and Diamond, and I pretty much peaced out after that, and I said I wasn't gonna finish it because it was just like I wasn't interested at all. But then my cousin Caitlin, who is my fave, I trust her taste in TV shows. We pretty much like the same things, and she was like, no, Pinky, you got to watch it. They actually moved in with each other and got married and this and that. So I was like, okay, I'll actually give it a chance. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I had it on in the background, and then the more it was playing, the more I was just starting to pay attention, like, oh, what is going on here? So this is not gonna be an in-depth, detailed review. This is more so just gonna be like my opinions on all the couples. I ain't even gonna lie, a lot of these couples I fast forwarded through, so I really don't know every single detail. If I'm wrong about something based off of that, then I guess you could tell me down below. So let's start off with Kelly and Kennedy. This is one of the couples that I pretty much fast forwarded through because I wasn't interested. I just assumed they were on the right track. They didn't really have much issue going on from what I saw on Twitter, so I was just like, whatever. The thing that turned me off about Kelly is that on their like bachelorette night, she kind of had the nerve to be like, well, I'm usually attracted to better looking men, basically like she used to being with a better looking man. And I'm just like, but Kelly, you and him are pretty much on the same level. Like, I mean, he's not my type either, but I wouldn't call the man ugly, especially when you put him next to Kelly. Like, they're very much on the same page. You know, maybe it wasn't clicking, but she kind of rubbed me the wrong way when she said, oh, I'm used to having a better looking man. I feel so bad for this man because I watched their little wedding and everything that was happening before, and he pretty much was so into her, writing in a book all these positive thoughts he was having about her before the wedding. I feel like his mom had a inkling that something like this was going to happen, because she was like, ask God to see your spouse through his eyes. And I thought that was such a touching and poignant thing to say, just in general. I think I'm going to take that with me. And, you know, whenever I do get in a relationship, I'm going to ask God to let me see my spouse through his eyes, because I feel like that is the best way to see someone. I'm guessing that for the show and for the, you know, spectacularness of it all, I'm assuming you can't break up with the person like before you make it to the altar, because I mean, we need the drama. So when they got to the altar, he said I do and she said I don't, and basically I hope you can appreciate and respect that. And I don't know, it was just so emotionless to me. Like, the way she did it, it just didn't seem like she truly cared about his feelings. It's like she only was thinking about herself. And I understand, if you don't want to be with this man, if you think this is not going to work out, if you think, you know, you're not attracted to him or whatever, I understand. Do what you got to do. But just the way she did it was just so cold. And just left that man up there. I mean, he was hot. He was hot. Like, he did a good job of covered it up when he was talking to the rest of the family out there, but when he got behind the scenes, y'all need to stop taping me, stop asking me all these stupid questions. I mean, he sat down in a chair and turned around. He was so over it. You know what? Don't ruin this man's life if you don't really want to be with him. Let him go find somebody that actually wants him, and you go do the same. But it just, I don't know. I kind of felt bad for him because he seemed like he was all in, and she was definitely stringing him along a little bit. That's what it seemed like. So next I'm gonna move on to Barnett and Amber. So I did pay a little bit more attention to this Amber and Barnett and Jessica love triangle. I did see parts of that. My thing about Amber is she wanted to be saved. Like, literally, that I feel like she came on this show to be saved. I hear that she was in the service at one point. And now she has a job where she can go in and work whenever she feels like it. I miss what she does for a living, so somebody tell me, like, what does she do that she can just come in and work whenever she feel like it? I mean, it just sounds shady. I'm not saying that that's not an actual, you know, there's not an actual occupation like that, but I need to know what job that is.
And then when she said the little quote about her, like, not working to live or living to work or whatever she said, that was like, okay. Then on top of that, she have all these student debt and she never got a degree. So it just seems like it was quite convenient that she chose to be with someone who makes a substantial amount of money.
Like, Barnett is the breadwinner. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom. And my whole thing is, I don't see an issue with her wanting to be a stay-at-home mom at all if Barnett is okay with it. But also, like, if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, I hope you know that that is a job within itself. Like, I think people think being a stay-at-home mom is kind of like taking the easy way out and, like, you get to really, like, be lazy or whatever. But being a stay-at-home mom is not easy. You gotta cook, clean, take care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that decorations on point. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna be a stay-at-home mom, your house gotta be spotless. Because that's your job. Your job is to keep the house up. You're a homemaker. So, you know, that to me, that's not necessarily the easy way out, I guess. I don't know why everybody was going so crazy over Barnett. His personality just wasn't, he was very shallow to me. He doesn't have much depth. I see why him and Amber kind of click because they're both kind of shallow, you know? And their whole relationship is kind of built off of lust. So honestly, I would love for them to be married forever, but just based off of what everything is built off of, I don't know if I believe it's gonna last. But you know, I still wish them the best. I don't know why everybody was going so crazy over him once again. Yeah, he's tall, and I mean, is he the most attractive guy on the show? I don't know. He just wasn't all that to me. He does give you sort of a frat boy feel, but I wasn't really too here for Barnett. He kind of annoyed me in the worst way. First of all, before Amber even went to go meet his family, he kind of had that girl so nervous. She was shaking. I mean, Amber was doing the most. Like, you can be that nervous, but you're, I'm just so nervous. Oh, let me give you a hug. Oh. That was a little much. But Barnett was basically making it seem like his family wasn't gonna like her, and if his family didn't like her, he was gonna dump her. That's kind of the feel I was getting from that. She was basically like, if your family like kind of turned against me or didn't like me anymore, would you have my back or would you stick with me? And he basically, to me, he was like, nah. Like, he didn't give a real answer, but to me, that was the answer. And I'm just like, I can't be with a man who can't stand up to his family. It's leave and cleave. That is in the Bible, okay? You're supposed to leave your mama and your family and cleave to me. I am your new family. Yes, I want you to have a good relationship with them, but I should be priority. Okay? Before the wedding, there was this whole thing of him having cold feet and her fighting to get here. I mean, she really did fight tooth and nail. I feel like she was going to knock Jessica out at their bachelorette party because Jessica, no, I'm going to get to Jessica. And they ended up saying yes to each other. And apparently, they're still together to this day. I was told that all of this was recorded in 2018. That's like 2 years ago. So, if they're still together to this day, you know, congrats. They're one of the only ones that made it. So how can I be mad? And Mark. Jessica is a flip-flopper. Jessica does not know what she wants. Jessica, I see why Jessica is single, because she will sabotage a good thing. This is called Love is Blind, right? And you come into these pods and you get to know somebody for who they are rather than their appearance. That's the whole point of this show. Even though, side note, let me go in a little bit. Love is Blind, I feel like in concept, this is like a great idea as far as, you know, the concept. But as far as the execution, I feel like that could have been done a lot better as far as picking people that are not conventionally attractive. I mean, there were people on here that were not attractive. People of different sizes, people that aren't conventionally the attractive person. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we really say love is blind when you have all beautiful people? How does that work? So, okay, let me get back into Mark and Jessica. So, she was originally so attracted to Mark, and it was like a genuine connection, and he said he felt it since day one. She was all in, and then she started talking to Barnett, and I feel like Barnett falls into the category of guy that she's usually used to being with. She even said it herself, his look is what she normally is with. So when she saw Mark and he wasn't what she wanted, she wasn't really attracted to him physically, and she saw Barnett and he was, I feel like at that moment she was, I mean, she was already flip-flopping back and forth between him and Barnett. And had Barnett not been playing her with Amber and this other girl, she probably would have proposed to him, because she was all in with Barnett, even though she was playing with this other boy mind. And that was just the theme this whole show. She was playing with Mark's heart, and that was not fair. That was not right. Mark was totally 100% invested, and she was not. And she was playing with him. She played with him this whole time. I feel like she should have never even got to the altar. She should have never even got to the altar, because she did not take this man seriously. In some ways, I don't blame her, because she's older than him 10 years. Oh my goodness, if she mentioned 10 years one more time, I'm 34, he's 24. I'm 34, he's 24. When I'm 40, he'll be 30. When I'm 50, he'll be 40. When I'm 60, he'll be 50. Okay, girl, we can do math. And really, she was trying, it's like she was trying to sabotage it. She wanted his mom or one of her friends to have an issue with it. Nobody did. You are the only one that had a problem with that. Okay? And you knew about his age since the beginning. So, anyway, they're on two totally different socioeconomic levels. She's very successful, and he is still on the come up. So, I could see how that could, you know, they're on two totally different levels there. He had roommates. She had a place of her own. She was flirting hard with Barnett, which was so disrespectful. I could not believe how many times she went up to Barnett asking him, was he sure? Or, I just didn't expect for you to be with someone like Amber. I hope you know, if they have a reunion, Amber is going to be ready to knock you out. She already threatened you. So you better, I hope you know how to fight, because she's going to be ready to hurt you if y'all have a reunion, or if she ever catch you. Because she overstepped the boundaries way too many times.
I completely forgot that even while they were still living in the house, she went up to Amber and was like, you don't need to be with Barnett because he tried to play us all, you know, trying to get them to break up in the house. So that is the reason why Amber is like side-eyeing you, because you tried to do that while y'all was in the house. I can only imagine what's happening, you know, behind her back. And so she was just so disrespectful to Amber and her own fiance.
I'm glad she had the decency not to go through with this wedding and marry this man she knows she didn't really care for. That's all I can say about that. Like, what else is there to say? Mark's heart is broken, but you shall move on. You are 24. You're very young. You have a chance to find somebody that actually wants you. Like, yeah, this is a heartbreak for you, but at least you have a, you know, at least you don't have to go through like a divorce or anything like that. Like, you don't have to, you can kind of brush this off and move on with your life, because she wasn't nobody's prize anyway. And she just proves that love is not blind for someone who's shallow. Let's move on to Giannina Gianna. I'm sorry, I couldn't catch her name that well. And Damian. So I'm just gonna start at the wedding because I was eating when I was watching the finale. I don't know why I just didn't expect for anyone to actually say no. I don't know why. I didn't expect for anyone to actually say I don't. And so when Damian said I don't, I promise I was OMG, 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 OMG. I just kept saying that over and over because I was so caught off guard. Like, this was actually a really good finale because I didn't expect that. And so from that point on, I was like, oh, people actually might be saying I don't. She was one of those people that when it was playing in the background, she made me stop and like, what is going on with her? Like, she was so melodramatic. Oh my goodness. I knew something was wrong with her when she didn't mind breaking out into a full-on argument in front of everybody. See, I don't play those games. Whenever I get into a relationship, there ain't gonna be no argument in front of everybody, airing out all our business in front of everybody. Like, she aired out some very sensitive topics, but that should just remain between the two in front of everybody, and did not care about how dramatic and loud she got. That's right there. That's when I knew she was a little bit too immature, and she didn't need to be married to nobody right now, because you have to grow up. You can't just, I don't know, the way she was just drama. She was drama. And then I realized, like, when you look at her, you don't see Hispanic or traditionally what you would think a Hispanic lady would look like. But when you met her family, I was just like, that's what it is. Hispanic people, and I don't mean to stereotype at all, but that the way she was acting was straight out of a telenovela. The way she was acting was straight out of a telenovela. How dare you? Oh my God, I can't believe. Oh.
And I'm not trying to say Damian is not at fault at all. I feel like a lot of his ways totally enabled her. And then at some point, he tried to put his foot down and it just fell flat, because it's like, you started off the relationship letting her do and say whatever. Now all of a sudden you want to put your foot down. And then on top of that, his parents didn't want to meet her. And I'm just like, well, I hope this is not because she's Hispanic. That kind of like gave me a little side eye. And I believe they didn't show up to the wedding.
See, that's the risk you take when you get into interracial dating. Some people's families ain't having it. And you know why? I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, but y'all already know. Some people's families just don't want to deal with other races because they are. So I was just hoping that wasn't the case, because, you know, if he was just like, they don't want to come on the show because they feel like it's a mockery, okay. Even though, you know, I kind of feel like you should show up to your child's wedding, because, I mean, this is the person your child is marrying, so you should meet them at least. But anyway, let's just move on to the wedding, because I don't have much else to say about them. When he said no, Nina, she ran about 5 miles into the woods with her dress on, with heels, and then she ran another 3 when she took her heels off. Like, she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and messed that dress up. I was like, you was being a little bit too dramatic. You didn't mean to mess that dress up. And then next thing you know, her mother comes tumbling behind her. I'm just like, this is so dramatic, like a telenovela. Like, I just was like, oh my goodness. And when she came back and confronted him and set that chair down and, why did you do this? It felt a little bit Lifetime movie network. It did. I'm not saying she was completely acting the entire time, but I feel like she definitely had her acting skills on at that point. Like, she was on point too. That was some A1 acting, boo. Like, you should really be nominated for an Emmy. And And then at the end of it, she ripped her dress and gave it to him. What was that about? Can somebody explain it? Did I miss something? Is that like an insider that I should have watched the show in order to know? Why did she rip her dress and give it to him? That didn't make any sense. Why does he think they still have a future together? That didn't make any sense either. Like, he said he almost said I do, but he didn't. And then you still think this girl gonna want to be with you? Let's talk about Lauren and Cameron. I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying they are the most rooted for couple, the most popular couple. We're the ones that we would be devastated if anything were to happen to Lauren and Cameron. And it was a struggle. It was kind of a little struggle once they got to the real world, because they seemed to really click, definitely in the pods. And it felt so genuine. It felt real. I don't know. It just, you know, sometimes you can feel the fakeness on reality shows, but between them, that connection was undeniable. And, you know, Cameron just seems like he really wanted love. And Lauren, I feel like Lauren, I'm not saying Lauren didn't want love, but I just don't think she truly expected to find love. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was down to try it, but I don't know, did she really think she would? Because it kind of like, I feel like she was taken aback by how much Cameron actually cared for her. And I think it made her a little bit uncomfortable, on top of the racial issue. You know, Cameron is a white man. She's a black woman. She seems like she's very pro-black. That she kept talking about black girl magic and how her father is all for the black family. I was so nervous for Cameron to meet her father, but it actually went well, even though, you know, you never know what he said behind the scenes to her behind Cameron's back. You never know. You never know. She kept saying how uncomfortable she was with telling people and how they would feel. She was kind of worried about how everyone else would feel. She told her friend, who was very caught off guard and very just like, because Cameron told her like everything in one swoop, like word vomit to her friend all at once, like, okay, I'm marrying a white man. Will you be in my wedding? And it's gonna be this month. Like, dang, that was a lot to drop on her friend back like that. I feel like because the situation was moving so fast, because they fell for each other so fast, it kind of didn't feel real to her. She didn't feel like it could be a real actual thing between them. Maybe she thought it was too good to be true. Because if I put myself in her shoes, I never really been with a white man. I mean, I went on a date before, but I've never really been with a white man either. So that's a big adjustment. Like, when you're with a white man, it's a lot that you're gonna have to teach him. Like, our cultures are totally different. And when you date a black man, he already knows certain things. He most likely had a black mama, black sister, being with a black woman. So he knows how black women are, and there's certain things I just will never have to explain. With white man, I'm gonna have to tell you why I wear a bonnet at night. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I was just not surprised at all that Cameron had been with a black woman before, because it was just something she didn't have to tell him. Some things that he was already comfortable with the bonnet. And also, being an interracial couple is not easy, especially with the outside world. You have to deal with people who are not going to agree, people who are going to be discriminating against you because of it. Your kids are going to be mixed. The world is going to see them a certain way. So I totally understand being apprehensive, but one thing about Cameron that I like is he seems very genuine. He seems sincere. He seems open to learning. He seems very aware of those issues. So I could appreciate that about him, because he doesn't seem like he was just brushing it off. Like, it seems like he was taking that serious. He's just like a very introspective man. He had his heart broken. He had been with a woman for a number of years, and she left him, and so he came here to find the love that he was trying to give to her. I feel like he just had it there to give to someone. And I'm not saying he would just give it to anybody, but you know, I do feel like he was already looking for a wife, and so Lauren just happened to be that person that fit. Was he very touchy-feely? Yes. Would I have been a little bit uncomfortable with that too? Yes, because it's like, ooh. I mean, not in a bad way. Like, it's not like it was a terrible thing that he kept, but it would like, we just met each other. Maybe she's not used to people touching all on her. And, you know, I've saw some people on Twitter say we're just not used to seeing a black woman be adored. A lot of times we are torn down by our own men, by other men. So in some ways we're kind of used to, it's kind of sad to say, but we're kind of used to not being treated the best. So when you do see somebody treating them the best, it like, as a viewer, it makes us like, we're automatically drawn to that, like, wow, I love to see it. But for her, she's probably a little bit uncomfortable because she's not used to it. And, you know, sometimes you'll be like, well, is it too good to be true? Is this man obsessed with me? Or does he actually love me? Am I a fetish? Or am I, you know what I'm saying? Those are some valid arguments as well. But when I saw their, let me tell you, when we get to the wedding, when she had that conversation with her father, I was teary-eyed. So when they finally got to that altar, and they said their vows, like, I was full on in tears. Like, that was such a beautiful moment. Like, I really felt it. Like, I really felt that between those two, the love was there. Like, and you would think it would be impossible to fall in love so quick. Like, especially with this show, it's like when they're in the pods and they're like falling in love after like a week or two. It's like, okay, how y'all really falling in love? But I feel like out of everyone, their love story is the most believable because it just feels the most genuine. And I just wish the best for them. They look so amazing together. They're still together to this day. He treats her like a queen that she is. And I don't know. I'm so happy for them. So now we're going to talk about Carlton and Diamond. Carlton was on a reality TV show once before, arguing with Kenya Moore on the Housewives of Atlanta.
Some of them are coming here. This is their first time modeling.
I
don't think that you should be like wearing them out.
Excuse me, who are you and why are you talking to me?
I work for the Bella Agency.
Who are you? Because I've never met you.
You don't see yourself. I'm not holding up a mirror.
You need to step off. Excuse me, security.
I work here, dear. You'll be ushered out before me.
His personality never read sincere to me. From the beginning. I didn't like Carlton from the beginning, even before his revelation. I didn't like him because he didn't come off real to me. I mean, he had an attitude from the very first moment of their vacation. He had a total attitude with her for no reason. His story kept changing. He snapped on her really quick. It's like he had those insults in the arsenal. He was ready to shoot. Like, at the first sign of anything. And she didn't even really have a chance to react because he snapped so quick. So, I feel bad for Diamond. Yeah, her wig wasn't the best. I'm not finna go in on her wig. I wish she would have just wore her natural hair because I feel like her natural hair is so beautiful. It looks so much better than that wig. But, yeah, Carlton didn't have no right to snap on that girl like that. And I feel like he was trying to stir up this moment because he wanted to be remembered. He wanted to make his mark. And congratulations, Carlton, you did, but in the worst way. And yeah, I refuse to take anything from that serious because I don't think he was taking it serious. I think he did all of this strictly for clout and followers and views. We see this all the time with reality shows. Let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? How do you feel about each of these couples? And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.